Buccaneer Bruce suddenly has a lot to say about Tampa Tom. We'll tell you what it really means. And then Aaron talking openly about the one thing he wants before he can get another Super Bowl ring. All that and more as we get up with you, starting right now from our Seaport Studios. Greeny here, hoping wherever you are, it is safe and warm. We got a little weather, but we have a terrific show for you as we look ahead to what is going to be one of the great football weekends of this entire year, and it begins with one of the biggest games in recent memory. Here we go. Chiefs, Saints. Run at numbers, here they are. A combined 846 winning percentage this season. It's the fourth best matchup this late in the year in the Super Bowl era. But there's more. The Saints and Chiefs are both 36-9 over the last 3 seasons. That is tied for the best record in the NFL. So this is a potential Super Bowl preview. And to the question mark, Drew Brees. He has been designated to return to practice, but will he start? Sean Payton says Brees still has, quote, a ways to go as he recovers from 11 broken ribs and a punctured lung.
We haven't ruled anything just because we don't have to. You know, he's got a ways to go still, and he's going to be someone that we're not going to hurry back and just put him in the game. I think that the significance of the injuries are such that you got to make sure he can function and feel confident.
All right, and we have Adam Schefter with us as we do every Thursday morning. Schefter, good morning. What is the latest on the situation with Drew Brees?
Well, good morning, Green. I think Sean Payton, the Saints head coach, said an awful lot there. The fact that he said that Drew Brees has a long ways to go, that he's not quite healthy yet, tells you that Taysom Hill is on track to start Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Saints did not want to bring back Brees until he's close to or at 100%. They did not want to bring him back until he's got close to full range of motion. Clearly, listening to Sean Payton there, it doesn't sound like he's close to 100% at this time, and it doesn't sound like he's got full range of motion. And if he doesn't have those two things, then it's going to be hard for them to put him into a spot where they believe he's compromised. And Taysom Hill has played pretty well. Did lose Sunday at Philadelphia, but before then had won 3 straight games. And so it sounds like it's tracking to be Taysom Hill versus Patrick Mahomes in this great late season matchup.
Okay, so let me keep Schefter with us as well as we bring in the rest of our crew this morning and say hello to Dominique Foxworth and Louis Riddick who are here. And let's just start at the very top, and then I want to work my way through some of the other decisions. But Louis, is it as simple as this? If the doctors clear Drew Brees, do you have any question about putting him back on the field?
No, Greeny, because the doctors are the professionals, and they're the ones who are in charge of safeguarding Drew's health. And that's one of those situations where when you're talking about how information flows throughout an organization, when you're talking about player health, it has to be up to the medical staff to determine whether or not it's safe for a player to return to the field. General managers, coaches, they can't make those decisions. They're not doctors. They're not licensed medical professionals. So if they say he can play, you have to trust that when you set up your organization in the first place that they're going to give you the right advice. So if they say he's ready to go, you put him out there. If they say he's not, you don't. It's really that simple. It's black and white to me.
Okay, so that's good. So, Dominique, let me come over to you on that thought then, because they got 3 weeks left in the season. You have a lot to play for. You were making the point this morning. This game and these last 3 games are critically important to the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, they feel like almost playoff games because the Saints need to get that first round bye. It's obviously a quicker path to the Super Bowl for anyone to get a bye, but with an aging quarterback, the fewer games you can play, the more important it is to get that, to secure that situation. So I feel Lewis on that one. I think you want to get Drew out there as quickly as possible, and we understand that Taysom Hill's won several games and has played better, frankly better than I expected him to play, but we also need to understand that they played a team that had a receiver playing quarterback. They also played the Falcons, and then they lost to a team last week whose quarterback was in his first start. So I'm not sure, as many games as they've won, I'm not sure that this team is feeling all that confident about a Taysom Hill-led game into Kansas City.
So there's 2 pieces of this I want to pick up on. Let's pick up on that one first. Schefter, we had a discussion here yesterday. Considering the offense they're going up against this weekend, do you know if there was any thought given, if there has been any thought given inside the organization to going with Jameis Winston this weekend, who, while obviously turnover prone, might give them the opportunity to be more explosive than Hill does?
You're not the first person to ask me that question, Greeny, but I don't believe it's been a conversation that's come up with any frequency or any meaning within the Saints organization. I think they really like Taysom Hill an awful lot, despite the fact that they lost Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think Taysom Hill is going to continue to be the quarterback until Drew Brees comes back, whenever that is. And you mentioned it's critical to win these games down the stretch, but it's more critical to have your 40-plus-something-year-old quarterback fully healthy and ready for the postseason when that begins. And so they're going to give him that time. And when they designate him to return off injury reserve, a lot of times what you see around the league is teams doing this to ramp up the players, to get them acclimated, to get them ready to come back. Not necessarily that first week, like this week for Drew Brees and the Saints, but in the upcoming weeks.
That's fair, and it is a good point. However, on the other side, I would like to give you an illustration of just how important it is to them to get the number 1 seed, not because they need the bye, as much as they need not to have to go to Lambeau Field. Mm-hmm. If you're wondering what Lambeau Field in January is like, I present for you Exhibit A. That was Tom Coughlin's face. So if you think a 41-year-old quarterback needs to be playing in that, coming back from 11 broken ribs and a punctured lung a month from now, I think it is less important to get the bye than it is to make sure that game is not played at Lambeau Field, Shefty.
Greeny, and the Giants won that game. And
Yes.
the Giants won that game. And that was with fans in the stands, which there won't be this year. So there are a lot of differences. Nobody wants to go to Lambeau Field as an opposing team in January. But as we've established before, this is a different team. Tom Coughlin, his cheeks were red, the smoke was coming out of his mouth, everyone froze. Giants won the game. Giants won the game, okay?
They did.
And New Orleans would love to have a chance to play in the conference championship again, even if it were in Green Bay.
We might just go for a joke there. Adam, you got to take everything so seriously. It was pretty funny.
Not only that, I think the Packers would rather play that game in New Orleans. I think if there was no fans there, I don't think anyone wants to be sitting out there. And there's a lot here I want to come back to, but let me bookmark it. I want to get on to the next manner of business, but there's a lot more to come back to, I think, on this New Orleans business, and we will. But